Yeah, so this is our
So I
sixth
think
session, it seems.
yes, it's session 6.
Yes. And what is it
It's
about
session
today?
6, yes. And session 6 is about, they are talking about professional skills and development. So I was
Uh-huh.
just required to list the professional skills I might need, then the kind of education or courses I can take in line with that, what certifications I might need in line with that also, and the trainings. Yeah, that was what the assignment covered. I could
Okay,
share
okay.
my screen just for
Yeah,
you
yeah.
to take a look, but yes, that's what the assignment covered. Oh, I send you the document.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm also looking at mentor resources, so I do see um what is there. And yeah, fortunately, unfortunately, I am not from the mechanical engineering industry, so I don't know what much to say about certifications uh, relevant
Yes.
uh, to your industry. But that said, there's always skills, right? On what do you want to do, what smart goals do you want to set up.
Yes. So let me just project my screen. I don't know. I struggle to share while on this. I think it's this one. I've seen it. Yeah. So this was basically the task before prior to this meeting. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
think it draws back. It's more of similar to what we spoke about in session 5. It's just like an expansion of it, just to break down whatever goals I'd set down that side. Then it's like, how are you going to achieve those goals? So I think this is it. Yeah, like the trainings needed for your career goals. So yeah, that's how. When you look at session 5, it was more of setting goals, and I was looking at in getting information. Then I was looking
Okay.
at the education field of it, and then a little bit of safety. And so it gives me things in line with that. So if I want to get into industrial automation, then I probably need the PLC programming skills that I can get trainings from Siemens, Alan Brandy. So these are more of automation companies within
Mm-hmm.
the mechanical industry, and then also a lot of these SCADA systems, DCS, and then the HMI, they're still needed for the industrial automation kind of career path I would like
Mm-hmm.
to take. And then, of course, alongside that, being in a manufacturing industry, then you need this number 3, which are more of continuous improvement practices to just minimize waste and all those kind of things. So that falls under lean manufacturing under Six Sigma methodology. It's more like you can just take a certification in them, like they're more like short courses that you can take to get you in those space. Yeah, and then with
Mm-hmm.
the health and safety, I think I did a certification in this already. So that's also critical in the industry because of human life and all that. You need to be taking care of the health and safety. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
then many other soft skills, and then the project planning and management. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So do I continue or you have comments? You can just comment in.
I don't know much about this, so I'll just keep quiet, at least in the skill side. Let's go into education.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so for the education bit of it, you see, uh, yeah, well, to get the skills about them to go through some education or some certifications. So I think I mentioned this in either session 5 also, that I plan to take on a project management course, and I thought maybe by June this year I would enroll for it. So I'm still looking into it, what June this year will come with, or so I'm still like taking it slow. And then maybe in the longer future, I'll take another kind of an MSc, either in environment or manufacturing system or something of that sort, just to meet one of these career goals. So apparently, like we mentioned last time, looks like my career path is still like wide open. I'm looking at industrial automation. I'm looking at getting into manufacturing excellency. I'm looking at getting into the education bit of it. So for me, I've just kept it open, but like three main things. And then for I'm looking at, okay, whichever comes first. If I first get a volunteer, a training space, or get my entry level job in the programming and automation space, then I'll probably like stick to that career path, and then grow in that line. And then, or if I get a teaching assistant training slot first, then probably I'll move more into the educational line, the academic field, and probably like grow my space in that direction. So it's like it's still open. I am just keeping
Uh-huh.
it open because I'm keeping it open, but I know like the industries I want to get into, but I'm keeping it
Uh-huh.
like open so that if this industry takes me up for this, then I am open to it, and then I go forward in that direction or something of that sort. So, uh, like this MSc, it may not be specific, it can change with time. Then
Mm-hmm.
taking whether short courses or diploma or something of that sort. This is more like a continuous learning process. There are those LinkedIn courses I should probably have taken some or started on, yeah. And then
Okay.
also there are these certifications that you usually need. So this also come in line based on the career path. Is it automation and manufacturing? Then I might need some certification in automation professional or the Six Sigma black or green belt. This is still about manufacturing excellency and so forth. Or is it in health and safety? So with health and safety, I did this certification in November. I just got my results last week for it.
Okay.
Then, yeah, and many others. Then it's the project management and so forth. Those are the different certifications I can take in line with whatever career path I get involved in first at this entry level. And then also like these are the different trainings, technical soft skills, professional exposure, and so forth to also like help me achieve the career goal we spoke about previously. Yes, so that's briefly about what I have on the pipeline in regards to this.
Okay. Okay. So,
Do I stop
my
sharing my screen?
no, it's okay. You can keep it. My question would be, so can you go down? So like, what is your ideal path?
Down to
Like,
education.
huh? What
What
what is
is
your
my
ideal
ideal
path in terms
path?
of like, is it a job? Like, if you had to choose, right? If you were given the choice,
Mm.
would you like to go for a job or would you like to go for higher education full time?
Uh, I think it's still a question I struggle to answer because by the time I left school in December, I knew
Uh-huh.
I wanted to get into the field and work, take on a job, right?
Okay.
But that is taking long to come in. But then now I am thinking, so I have this that's okay. I would like to work, but not work for so long, and then probably come back and lecture with the fact that I have an MSc. I may not need to go into the PhD thing because I have an MSc. I can always like lecture with that. But then also I look at it in such a way that okay, if I get so it's not like I have a clear defined like an ideal kind of path clearly defined. But initially when I left school in December, I wanted to get into the work environment, into the field and get that and not stay in academic field. That's probably why I left. Yeah. But at the moment I
So
am still thinking about also getting academic space of it.
okay,
It's
so
not
like
clear.
in short, like if you get a good job, like what is a good job versus uh a good opportunity? What is the best opportunity?
You're breaking. I didn't get you. I didn't get you.
Yeah. So what is the best opportunity for you?
Hi, Mohammad. What is the best opportunity? right now at the
Yeah,
moment.
like between college and between
Are you
college
question?
and job, like which is like the ideal scenario. Like like I don't know if I got a clear answer from a golden path perspective. Like this is there, and then I could also do this course. Like what is that path?
Muhammad, I personally think my ideal path right now is getting down in the field. So that is more of uh, employment, formal employment, and not like academic route at the moment. Because I feel like to deliver in the academic space, you also need a little bit of field work experience so that you are in a better position to relate the theories in class to the students with what is happening on ground. So for me, my first thought is employment than
Mm-hmm.
academic ground. Yeah, at the
Okay, okay,
moment.
okay. So
Yes.
and then you have these certifications that you have listed down. Can you go a little further down?
Yeah. Here or I go
Yeah,
further.
further down. Yeah, further down in the certification. So you have
Yeah.
Six Sigma belt, HSC
Okay. Okay.
training. Yeah. So I guess today's session is more about setting, like, I mean, a lot of this does not make too much like I don't understand what is being what is being discussed written here because I'm not familiar with mechanical, right? So I guess today's session, the best way
Yes.
I can contribute is with the smart goal setting framework, right? Where you have to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant. I'm just taking a picture and just sending it to you on chat as well, so you can open this up
So I have
just
I
so
have
there is context.
Muhammad.
Hmm.
Muhammad, I have
Yes.
that smart goal template also. Should I project it?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. Let me
I'll also send you a
project
picture
it. Let me
if
stop.
that makes sense.
Yes, let me stop sharing that, and then I open that other template, and then
Hmm.
we just have a quick look at it also. It's loading. Yes. Give me a moment. Okay. I don't know if they were really goals, but let's talk about it.
Okay.
Where is it? It's this one. Let me just show you what it is. So this is what I had on that SMART goals. So they're saying use the following template to develop SMART goals for your career. I am really not so sure if SMART goal one is to develop practical experience.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. Yeah. So
Yes.
specific, measurable, apply for at least 10 per week relevant roles within the next 3 months and secure a position by August 2025. Okay. Attainable, leverage job boards, LinkedIn, personal networks. So there is this other attainable, achievable, yeah, sort of the same, yeah, right? Within a certain time frame, right? So I think achievable I mean, you seem to have written the how of your goal, right? More uh like achievable is more like get three offers or one offer, right? That is probably what is achievable, right?
Okay.
Like leveraging job boards is more like how of it, right? Like like achievable
Okay.
shouldn't it be like get three responses from you know employers, like at least one response every week, right? And that could be
Okay.
by following up, not just sending a request, but if you have their email, also follow up with them, right? So if
Okay.
you had to be specific.
Does this response, should it be a positive response or even a negative response? Is it just getting a response is the goal, or or getting a positive response is the goal?
I think just getting a response is also a good goal, right? Like at least you can say where you're getting answers from, right? If you get a response from
Okay.
LinkedIn more than Indeed, right? Then I think that makes like it helps you focus for the next week. Why don't I just go do more LinkedIn than Indeed, right? So, so um, or at least you will know, or it might also be because of your resume, right? What if your resume doesn't have enough keywords because of which you're not getting response? Because you can keep, so there is so people talk about practice and consistency a lot in terms of achieving your goals, right? But what you need is deliberate practice. Right? What is the difference is, like, if you go running and run really badly for the next 10 years, you're still going to be bad at running, right? But if you do deliberate practice at running, you will be able to improve your running and eventually become an athlete, right? So it's about making 1% progress every day or every week. So what I mean by that is, if your resume is not getting responses, right, and you keep doing that for the next 4 weeks, you're wasting time, right? But instead, if you keep improving the resume every week, right, by adding keywords that seem to work, right, adding relevant keywords to the relevant job posts, right, so you have three resumes, not just one. uh, because if you don't understand, most of these job employers, right, they use something called ATS, uh, which actually automatically filters resumes. And how do they filter
Yes.
the resumes? By just looking for keywords, and there's a lot of things that they look at, but at least starts with keywords, right? If you don't have the right keywords, you won't even show up in front of a human being.
Yeah.
So so you need to, so if you ask me what you could do to improve resume, right, so that it is achievable to get responses, right? So maybe in 1 week you may not have even a single response, right? At which point you need to realize that either their dates are not aligned. Sometimes they don't respond because their end date is a different date, right? They put out a job post,
Yes. Yes.
wait for job. But even after submitting and after the date has passed, if you don't get any response, right, or like maybe favorable response, sometimes you might just get a rejection, right? But some form of favorable response is not coming, that probably means that you are getting filtered. Okay, if you are getting filtered, sending the same resume again to 10 other people is not going to help, right? Not necessarily. So you may need to start looking at, like, you might need to try harder, right? And how I would try harder is look at the job post, okay, put it into chat GPT and say, for this job post, what are the kind of keywords I should have so that my resume can make it, right? Like, it's a very very uh, targeted question, right? um, and if you can add some of those keywords in your experience, right, just put your experience and say that, mold my resume in a way that my resume can get picked automatically for this job post, and this is the job post, right? Put the content and see how it changes, right? I don't know, right? Maybe we can do it over a call. Maybe if you have your resume of this and you have one job, we can see how it changes the job post, right, and your resume. Do you see why I mean by attainable? So attainable meaning getting some form of positive response. I think rejections usually do come most of the time, but it's good to measure where you're getting rejections, right? At least you know that there's some response coming.
Okay. So I actually try and tailor my CV.
Uh-huh.
I don't like send the same CV throughout. Many
That's great.
times I tailor it to the job requirement. I think you showed me something like that at a certain point. But either
Yes.
session 3 or 4, we did something like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I used to do that last year,
Hmm.
but then yes, I have been tailoring my CV to the role requirement.
Okay, that's good. So i
Yeah,
think i think
but
the
still,
point
but
is made.
still,
Yeah. Hmm.
but
Yeah.
still, the response I get is like very low, very low.
Okay.
Yeah, I think many responses I get are more from these multinational companies, and
Uh-huh.
then it's usually a negative response. but then within the country, I rarely get any responses when I send out my CV.
Okay. So one thing you need to understand is if you're sending it to multinational companies, right? They are getting a much larger pool of resumes, right? Um, like if you send something to Microsoft, there's a very high chance you are just one out of 500 or 1000 applicants. Okay. Uh, for you to stand out without work experience is already a big challenge, right? I can tell you from Microsoft, uh, mostly we hire only from campus for freshers, right? So I'm guessing the MNCs are also, you know, have some kind of policy like that, right? So my uh, where I'm going to is maybe you should try to focus on smaller companies that have fewer applicants, right? And try to get in there, right? Because you have a higher likelihood that fewer people are applying, right? And if your goal is to get any internship, right? From there you build on to, you know, whichever mechanical company you want to go, right? Bosch or others. I think that seems to be a more likely. That's where I think the attainable comes, right? So I think
Okay.
the attainable should not be from MNCs, right? I think the attainable is get responses from mid-tier to low-tier companies, right? Because they might be ready to experiment. Low-tier or mid-tier, right? Because that is a little too high, right? I mean, it's very like I can tell you 99.9% you are not going to like if whatever your profile is at a software engineering
Mohammed,
scale, huh?
Mohammed,
Mm,
Mohammed. But
mm,
you see, when I apply to multinational companies, right,
mm,
I
mm.
am not applying for a job. I am applying for their graduate training programs.
Oh, okay, okay. Um,
Yes, I only mainly drop my application for their graduate training programs that run for a year or two. I don't know, maybe because they also maybe look at the location.
maybe. My concern is
Yes.
why are you looking for a training program? You're looking for a job.
Yeah, but I mean that could be an easy entry point into a multinational company. But while in the country here, yes, I'm looking for a job.
So that's where you need to be specific, right? So right now it's not specific. You're already saying you're doing something that is away from your goal. So
Okay.
so you see what that's the specific part, right? You want to be
Yeah, but it's
specific
like
that huh?
it's an internship or an entry level job.
Yeah. So now you're saying industrial training, which is not correct. So this is the
Industrial
problem, right?
indus,
Yeah. This is exactly
industrial
why you should have a
training
smart goal. Huh?
no, Muhammad, when I say
Mm.
industrial training, I mean it is the graduate training program. That is like a those are like after school kind of program that go for 1 to 2 years.
I hear you.
That's
I hear
different
you.
from, yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So
That
you
that could be
you
some sort of an entry level job into that company.
I agree. So if you had to choose between one, right? That's why it has to be specific. That's the whole point of being specific, right? Like I'm okay with having an industrial job. I'm okay with having a job. I'm okay with having an internship, but you have to pick one, right? That's when you become
Okay.
specific,
Okay.
right? The way to
Okay.
be non-specific is saying I want all three.
Oh, okay. I get you.
You see what I mean? So I'm telling you,
Yes,
tell
I
me,
get what
like
you.
it's okay you have multiple, but at least in on paper, let's try to be specific. Like from what I understood so far when I talked to you, right? Uh, you want a job, right? You want industry experience, right? And and there are different ways to get industry experience, which is the industrial training that you're saying. I agree with you, right? I understand it's valuable. I'm not saying it's not valuable. I'm just saying if you have to pick one, otherwise it's not specific, or you can just cross out specific from smart goal. You have a mart goal, right? Otherwise. So let's like yeah. So I think having a job is higher likelihood in your geography, is attainable, right? Getting something outside of your country in a multinational company, even if it's industrial experience, is not very attainable, at least based on my Microsoft experience, right? Because they have so many people applying,
Mm,
It's hard to take a chance, right? Why would you relocate for an after school program inside of Kenya? I don't know if there is in Kenya, right? Like,
mm,
then that means you'll have to find a course in Kenya for this after school program. So it doesn't seem achievable, right? It doesn't seem realistic for me. So don't even try that, is what I'm trying to say. So that saves you time. The whole point of having smart goals is when you have a focus, it will help you land the hammer on the right place, right?
okay. Okay.
So I think you should look for a job. You should look for an internship or a job. Don't look for industrial programs, the industry training programs, right? Just say
Muhammad, I
no,
have
I
a
don't want to do
question.
it. Mhm.
I have a question. So, what's the difference between internship and industrial training?
Now, I don't know, to be honest, this is the first time I'm hearing industrial training, and you're saying it's 1 to 2 years. Okay. So,
No,
internship usually,
I take internship is
so
short. Yeah, about three
yes,
months,
internship is
six
short. So,
months.
I have a few interns in my company, right? I have one intern who
Yes.
we hired like this last week. Okay. His
Mm,
work
mm,
is in the last 3 months of his program, last 3 months of his engineering course, or I think BCA computer applications course. He is working on some applications that we are building, right? So
mm,
he's getting hands-on experience on real world products, right? And to some extent, it's more work on me than him, right? Like sometimes I have to train him, right? I have to
mm,
tell him, I have to guide him. So it takes a lot of effort from my side to have him, right? That said, he gets some of my work done, right? Which is also, so it's a win-win in some sense, and there is no payment guaranteed at this point, right? I could give him depending on results, but at least on paper there is no pay, right? So internships are unpaid. Internships are um, internships are short, 3 months, 1 month, 6 months. That's the max, right? Uh, and at the end, maybe you'll get a certificate, maybe you won't, right? Like it's just going to be a letter, right? Industrial training, if you say is 1 to 2 years, I'm guessing it is a structured program which has milestones, and you probably have some evaluations, and at the end you get a certificate for that, right? And this is powered by a company. So this is how I differentiate between the two. So
yes.
based on
Yep.
that,
I think so.
make sense? Okay. So,
Yes, it does. It does make sense.
so based on that, I think, I mean, I'm not saying it's not valuable, but at your stage where you've already, like MSc, right? I don't think you need any more
Mm,
training, right? I think you need industry experience with a paid job, right? Go for that, right? And when you've decided that, at least for half a month or 1 month, go for just that, right? I'm not saying don't go for industrial experience ever, right? I'm saying at least for next 1 month, let's focus on getting a job only. So anything that shows industrial experience, anything that sees MNCs, you are not going there, because that is not your smart goal this month, right? What's the worst what can happen, right? Like 1 month you don't get responses. Anyways, you've not gotten an offer, right, in the past 1 month. So think of it as another. But the benefit of it is now you have more time to spend on something that is more attainable, right, or achievable, right? Which is a mid-tier, low-tier company in your geography, right? But now, like everybody knows Santa. Like if there are 100 job posts in your country for entry level internships, you hit 90 of them, right? 90% of every job post, because you have time now. Now, like because the MNC pool is probably another 100, 500 jobs, right? Which is hard to, apply, read. So it takes time. So does that ring a bell?
yes, it makes sense.
Yeah. So
It
at the
does.
end, maybe in 1 month, you might just get more responses from attainable companies. So that's good. And relevant is basically, yeah, something relevant to your goals, right? Your goal is to get a job, to get paid. Like at least for 1 month, your goal is to get a job, right? A paid job, a paid internship, or a paid job. Let's put it like that, right? That is relevant. Like until you put that in your head and say that I can do it, then you can start attempting that, right? It's possible. There are people who've gotten paid jobs after MSc. It's not like Like too hard. It's hard. I'm like as an entry because of the market and all, but it is possible, right? Now the kind of, so there's a difference between possibility and probability, right? Is it possible? Yes.
Mm,
Is it probable? That really depends on your effort, right?
mm,
Possibility is 0 or 1, true or false. And that's definitely true. You can get a paid job after an MSc. Okay. Uh, what is probable is probably like a mid-tier, low-tier company inside of your town, right? Unless you're a celebrity, right? At which point people are coming to you, right? So that can happen. So your what you can do is push the probability higher. Possibilities anyways there, right?
mm.
Push the probability higher. And how can you do push the probability higher? By increasing the quantity of your applications targeted to them.
Yes.
So that's the point. So get a paid internship. That's relevant. Like it needs, you need money. You are in MSc. It's not it's not hard. It can be done. Okay. Quantity of my applications
Sure.
that are targeted and timely, right? Timely is basically you have a target. Let's not put by June 2025, right? Let's say you get a job by the next month, right? If you say June
Okay.
2025, you already have 4 months, right? Let's not do that. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say by end
Okay.
March. Yeah. Let's push for it. Like after end March, you say, okay, it's okay. You tried, you put your effort for 1 month. Santa was the most had the most number of applications inside of Uganda for these jobs, right? You did something, you learned something. Keep those jobs, keep that timeline a little short. So then you can put pressure, right? So that's good. So secure an internship, entry level position in industrial automation. That's good. Manufacturing HSC. I guess let's put that as in your industry. Let's put it like that. By March 2025, okay, to gain practical hands-on. So it could be an internship offer that starts in June. That's okay, right? That doesn't matter. What matters is you get a confirmation or a conversation around it or an interview around it by March,
Mm,
right? End of March. So this is
okay.
good. This looks like a great goal. Make sense?
Yeah, this looks much better,
Yeah,
much
yeah. So
clearer.
yeah, so that's the beauty, right? Remember this rule. Less is more and more is less. Nothing more,
Mm,
nothing less.
okay.
Yeah. Less is more. The smaller your goal, that means you'll have more focus. Be able to do that thing. Like you will be able to measure yourself. Am I actually applying to the jobs? Right? If it's too big a job like MNC, low tier, mid tier, everything, right? It becomes like even right now, I might even ask you to decide, do you want to do low tier only or mid tier only? And I don't know what the definition is, right? You might also say, oh, I just want a job. I'm not even going to take this, but at least I will have an offer at the end of this, right? So go low tier
Mm,
first, maybe, right? I don't know how you get to them, but you go find out where the low tier companies are. They're probably not on Indeed. They're probably not on LinkedIn. They're probably putting ads on classifieds, right? So your entire search process will change, right? They're probably putting on newspapers, right? So then you can start calling them and they might even take the call, right? Because they may not be getting all the applicants online, right? So I would say, yeah, your entire job search mechanism will change from let's go online, put my CV profile in a PDF file and send it to them. That completely changes to let me figure out what my 1 minute phone call pitch is to companies that have put classified ads in the industrial industry, right? In the mechanical engineering industry. So you see the whole change? It's kind of changed completely. This is what I used to do when I was in Dubai, when I was kind of looking for jobs, right? There were online websites where I got responses, but there were also classified posts, right? And I used to just call or send an email. And these are traditional companies, but they are looking for people like immediately. They're not looking for process. And you would probably talk to the recruiter directly. No, not recruiter. You'll probably talk to the hiring manager directly because it's like a 3% company or something like that, right? So the likelihood of getting a job is easy. Makes sense. And then
Actually,
obviously, hmm,
I actually got an interview that was on 30th of December with
uh-huh.
this local company like this, but a guy said he will call me back in Feb. and the
Uh-huh.
entire Feb has gone. I haven't heard from him. So when I ask him, it's like a three, five people kind of company also. So
Mm.
when I ask him, it's like, I will call you. I'll call you. I'll call you. That is the kind of response he gives me every time.
That's fine. At least you had an interview, right? That's good. That's good. Keep troubling him. It's okay. Like if I was that person, right, I can totally relate, right? Because sometimes I tell people to contact me back and I'm just busy. It's not that I don't need you. It's not just that the job doesn't exist, but like priorities change, right? So he could be, maybe he could be lying. I don't know, right? Maybe he doesn't have the need anymore. I don't know, right? But I can tell you from my personal experience, sometimes I just get busy. Like you just saw, like yesterday I missed the call. It was not that I don't remember you, I don't care about you. It's just that I just got busy. I forgot. And like last week you forgot, you didn't probably see the calendar invite. There's some reason or the other, right? Something happens, right? So
Yeah.
as long as that
Yeah.
person responds, eventually I think they're committed to you, right? And sometimes you just like nag them enough that you get a conversion, right? Like at the end, what? Like you got the job. How does it matter if he was there or that? After that, does it really matter? He asked you to come in Feb or March or whatever, right? You got the job. You got the job. Simple. Like you've attained your goal. So okay, I think I will need to drop off right now. It's almost 1:15. I need to
All
get to
right,
somewhere.
sure.
Okay. But I think
Okay,
this is good.
sure,
You have a
sure.
final smart goal. You know what to do. I think just go for low tier companies to start with. When you have extra time, you can go for mid tier companies, right? But get that job, right? No more industrial experience. I mean, it's just at least for the next 1 month, let's not look at MNCs, right? It's just a distraction. Let's look at local jobs. Let's look at people. Let's call numbers. They might tell you to call later. That's good. At least you're getting a human response. Right now, I can tell you most of the MNCs are probably not even reading your CV. Not a human. It's probably like software. So that's already progress, right? So I think it'll be good. And once you have experience, right? Once you have 6 months of experience in any company, now MNCs care, right? Because you have experience, right? And then it's just a stepping stone. So yeah, go for that. Okay. Cool. Okay,
Okay,
thanks.
Mohammed.
Nice talking to you. Let's catch up
All
again
right. Nice
next week
talking to you
over the next
too.
session.
All right. Next week. All right. Enjoy your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Bye bye.
Bye.